Imagine this. A young man spends 10 years chasing his dream. He works late into the night. He sacrifices weekends. He misses family dinners. He tells himself the same sentence every single day. I'll finally be happy when I get there. Then one ordinary morning, it happens. He gets the promotion, the salary he always wanted. The congratulations begin to pour in. His phone won't stop ringing. His family celebrates. His friends call him successful. For a moment, everything feels perfect. But something strange happens. A week later, that excitement begins to fade. A month later, an exam result, a vacation, something you believed would finally make you happy. Yet sooner or later, that feeling disappeared. Why? Were you ungrateful? Was the achievement not enough? Or is there something inside your brain that simply refuses to let happiness last? The answer is more fascinating than most people realize. Because your greatest enemy isn't bad luck. It isn't other people. Isn't failure. Sometimes it's your own brain, not because it's broken, but because it was designed for survival, not satisfaction. And once you understand that truth, you'll never chase happiness the same way again. Your brain has one job. Most people believe the brain exists to make us happy. It doesn't. Imagine living 100,000 years ago. There were no hospitals, no supermarkets, no police. Every day was uncertain. One careless decision could mean death in that world. Brain that became too comfortable didn't survive. Nature rewarded brains that stayed alert. Brains that noticed danger, brains that always wanted more resources, more food, more shelter, more security. Because enough could quickly become not enough. Your ancestors survived because their brains never allowed them to relax for too long. And today, you inherited that same brain. The world changed. Your biology didn't. The happiness trap. Here's something your brain never tells you. Happiness was never meant to be permanent. Imagine if eating one delicious meal made you permanently satisfied. You'd stop searching for food. Eventually, you'd starve. Imagine if finding one safe cave made your ancestors stop improving their lives. The next winter would have killed them. So evolution created a clever system. Every reward feels amazing, but only temporarily. Then, your emotional baseline quietly resets. Scientists call this hedonic adaptation. Your brain calls it normal. That's why the first day in your new house feels magical. 6 months later, it's just your house. The first paycheck feels incredible. Later, it's simply expected. The first compliment makes your heart race. Eventually, it barely surprises you. Your brain keeps moving the finish line, not because it's cruel, because it wants you to keep moving. The illusion of I'll be happy when. Or think back to your childhood. Maybe you believed, I'll be happy when I become an adult. Then adulthood arrived. Suddenly the dream changed. I'll be happy when I get my first job. Then, when I earn more money, when I get married, when I buy a house, when I retire. Notice the pattern? Happiness always seems to exist. One step ahead, like the horizon. No matter how far you walk, you never reach it. Your brain creates this illusion because chasing goals once increased your ancestors' chances of survival. But in modern life, it often steals your ability to enjoy what you've already achieved. Why negative moments feel stronger? Here's another mystery. Imagine receiving 10 compliments today and one harsh criticism. Which one will you remember tonight? Probably the criticism. This is called the negativity bias. Your brain gives bad experiences more attention than good ones. Thousands of years ago, ignoring danger could be fatal. Ignoring beauty never was. So your brain evolved to remember pain more deeply than pleasure. Why one embarrassing moment can replay in your mind for years, while hundreds of happy moments quietly fade into the background. Your brain believes pain contains important lessons, so it refuses to let go. The never-ending. Search now imagine standing on a beach. Every wave that reaches the shore disappears, only to be replaced by another. Your desires work the same way. The moment one dream arrives, another quietly takes its place. This isn't failure, it's programming. Your brain constantly whispers, just one more achievement, one more purchase, one more success, one more victory. And because of that whisper, many people spend their entire lives chasing happiness without ever stopping long enough to experience it. But here's the biggest question of all. If your brain keeps moving the finish line, if it keeps focusing on problems instead of blessings, if it was designed for survival instead of happiness, that means lasting happiness is impossible. Or, can you actually retrain your brain to stop sabotaging your own peace? The answer lies inside one of the most extraordinary discoveries in modern neuroscience. And once you understand it, you'll realize happiness isn't something your brain gives you. It's something you must learn to protect. Imagine two people standing in exactly the same place. They have the same job, the same income, the same opportunities, the same weather, the same city. Yet, one of them feels grateful every morning, while the other constantly feels like something is missing. The difference isn't their life. The difference is the story their brain keeps telling them. And that's where the greatest battle begins, not outside you, but inside your own mind. Your brain loves the chase. Not dog the prize, think about the last thing you desperately wanted. Maybe it was a new phone, a promotion, a relationship, or reaching a personal goal. Remember the excitement before you got it? Your heart raced. Your imagination painted a perfect future. You thought, once I have this, everything will be different. Then you finally got it. For a while, it felt amazing. But soon, that excitement quietly disappeared. Why? Because your brain releases much of its motivational chemistry before the reward arrives. It pushes you to chase, to explore, to achieve. Once you've reached the goal, your brain quickly starts looking for the next mountain to climb. This system once helped our ancestors survive. If they had stopped searching after finding one source of food, they might not have survived the next season. But in today's world, this same system often convinces us that happiness is always somewhere else, always just one step away. The comparison trap now. Imagine this, happy with your life. Then you open social media. Within minutes, you see someone traveling the world, someone buying a luxury car, someone celebrating success, someone who seems happier than you. Suddenly, nothing in your own life feels enough. What changed? Your reality, only your comparison. Your brain naturally measures progress by comparing you with other people. Thousands of years ago, this helped humans understand their place within a tribe. Today, it traps us in a race that never ends because there will always be someone richer, smarter, more attractive, more successful. If comparison becomes the measure of happiness, happiness becomes impossible to keep. The happiness you never notice something strange. Imagine someone quietly places a priceless diamond in your pocket every single morning. The first day, be overwhelmed with gratitude. After a year, you might stop noticing. This is exactly what happens with life's greatest gifts. Your eyesight, your health, your family, your friends, your ability to breathe, to laugh, to learn. Your brain quickly labels familiar blessings as normal. And once something becomes normal, it disappears from your conscious appreciation. Not because it lost its value, because your brain stopped paying attention. Why we keep chasing. More, have you ever wondered why people who achieve everything they dreamed of still feel empty? Achievement and fulfillment are not the same thing. Achievement says, I reached the destination. Fulfillment says, I found meaning. Your brain loves achievements because they produce excitement. But excitement fades, meaning grows. Helping someone, creating something, learning, sharing. These experiences often bring a quieter happiness, not because they're more exciting, but because they connect you to something beyond yourself. Can you rewire your brain? Here's the most hopeful part of this story. Your brain is not a prison, it's a garden. Whatever you water will grow. Neuroscientists call this neuroplasticity. Every repeated thought strengthens certain neural pathways if you constantly focus on what's missing. Your brain becomes an expert at finding emptiness. If you regularly notice gratitude, acts of kindness, moments of beauty, your brain slowly becomes better at recognizing them too. You're not changing reality. You're changing what your brain pays attention to, and attention shapes experience, the secret most people never learn. People spend years trying to change their circumstances. Very few learn to change their attention. Imagine watching a movie. One person notices only the sad scenes. Another notices the courage. Another notices the friendships. They watched the same film, experienced completely different stories. Life works the same way. Reality is important, but attention determines which part of reality becomes your experience. A story about two wolves. There is an old story. A grandfather tells his grandson, there are two wolves fighting inside every human heart. One is driven by fear, envy, greed, comparison, and endless dissatisfaction. The other is driven by gratitude, compassion, curiosity, hope, and peace. The grandson asks, which wolf wins? The old man smiles, the one you feed. Whether the story is ancient or modern doesn't matter. Its message reflects something neuroscience continues to discover. The brain strengthens whatever it practices repeatedly. Every thought is a vote. Every habit is a rehearsal. Every day, you are quietly teaching your brain what matters most. The final truth. Why does your brain sabotage your happiness? Because it isn't trying to make you miserable, it's trying to keep you alive. It constantly searches for danger. It quickly adapts to success. It pushes you toward the next goal. It compares you with others. All of these systems once helped humans survive, survival, and happiness. You stop believing every thought it produces. You realize that not every fear deserves your attention. Not every comparison deserves your energy. Not every desire deserves to become your destination. Ending one day. You will own something you've always wanted. You will stand exactly where you once dreamed of standing. When that moment comes, don't rush toward the next finish line. Pause, look around, feel it, because life isn't only the mountains you climb. It's also the view you almost forgot to enjoy. Your brain will always whisper, what's next? But your heart has another question. What is here? Right now. And perhaps, the happiest people are not those who have the most. They are the ones who notice the most. So the next time your mind tells you that happiness is waiting somewhere in the future, remember this. Happiness has never been hiding at the end of the journey. It has always been quietly walking beside you. You only needed to slow down long enough to notice. You for watching. If this video changed the way you think about happiness, share it with someone who's been chasing it for too long, because sometimes the greatest obstacle to happiness isn't the world around us, the invisible programming inside our own minds.